morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching. Welcome back to session number 3 of Cultivating Calm. I'm Mike Massey, also known as Mindful Mike. Let's get underway. So I had a couple questions this week about the practice and the best time to fit the practice in. Some of you are asking, Mike, I'm finding it really hard to get in these 5 or 10 minutes of meditation a day. That is okay. You know, going back to the first session, I talked briefly about how it took me about 3 years to get into a regular routine. So if you're having a hard time making the practice fit into your day, set 1, 2, or 3 minutes, or 3 moments even a day to just ask yourself, how am I doing today? Even if you're not putting on your earbuds or your headphones on and listening to the meditation, even if you just start with as soon as you wake up, or maybe when you're brushing your teeth or on your drive into work, to ask yourself, how am I doing today? And this practice today is all about you and the practice of self-compassion. So there's 2 main practices this week. There's a practice of self-compassion and a practice of rain. So let's start with the practice of rain. The practice of rain is an informal practice that you can use formally as well. RAIN's an acronym, and the acronym stands for R, which is recognize what is present. So if you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're sad, if you are excited, if you're full of love, the first practice and step in RAIN is to ask yourself, all right, what is actually present here? So you're going to recognize your emotion. Moving on to A. A is accept and acknowledge what is present. Now, I'm not asking you to like your sadness or to love it, but I'm asking, when you are sad or frustrated or upset, are you able to, 1, recognize it and then accept or acknowledge that it's here? I find out a lot of times in teaching mindfulness that when we talk about acceptance, people naturally have this resistance saying, I don't want to be anxious, or I don't want to be sad, or I don't want to be full of fear. So I find by using the word accept helps. So again, going from the top, R, let's just recognize what's present. A, can we accept or acknowledge that it's present? Not that you like it. And then the I is investigate or identify where it resides. So for me, the last time I'm thinking of when I was frustrated or angry or upset, it was kind of camping out here. So I would investigate or identify where this emotion or these emotions reside. So again, R, recognize. A, accept or acknowledge. I, investigate or identify. And then the N, very tricky, just like the A, is non-judgment or non-attachment. So when I'm working with non-attachment, how I work with it is simply this way. If I'm angry, I will say to myself, I am noticing this anger. Or I'll say, I'm experiencing this anger. What I find happens too often is people identify with the emotion. So they say, I am angry. I like to notice and say, I'm experiencing it, because then to me, it has this more feeling of being impermanent and that it will move through or around me. So the I leads to the N, which is investigate. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here. And then I can look at it with non-judgment or non-attachment. This emotion isn't me, it's simply moving through me. And I'm simply just experiencing it just for this moment, just for this breath. If you want to look at it more from the side of non-judgment, no problem. You can say, well, right now I'm noticing that I am angry, right? I recognize that I'm angry. I acknowledge that it's here. I identify that it's here. But what I'm going to do just for this moment is I'm not going to judge myself for having this anger. So the N can also be non-judgment. So when we're going through, again, one more time, the R, let's just recognize what's present. A, I accept or acknowledge that it's present. The I, I'm investigating or identifying that it's in my mind, but really strongly in my chest or stomach. And then the N, I'm not judging myself for having this experience. I am not judging myself The way I wouldn't judge one of my sons if they are angry. I would say, yeah, you are angry and that's okay. Again, how can we hold that anger, or can we notice that anger is going to move through, which is the other way of the N, of course, which you can looking at it with non-attachment. I am not attached to this. This is impermanent and it will move through. So that's the informal practice of rain. Let's step into the formal practice of rain, shall we? So just allowing your eyes to close. And just very kindly bringing your awareness to your breath. So as you breathe in, notice that you're breathing in. And when you feel ready, just release and breathe out. And again, your mind might wander off to thoughts or thinking. There's no problem with your mind wandering. Your mind is just doing its job. But just welcome yourself back to the present moment and to just ask yourself to bring forward the last time that you were maybe mad or upset, worried or frustrated. And as you bring forward that memory or that moment, allowing it to fully come forward into your awareness. And as we step into this practice of rain, just simply ask yourself, what is present here? So recognize the emotion. So for me, I'm thinking the last time I was frustrated. So I'm just saying to myself, I recognize the frustration. And again, you might notice that your mind wants to go off into the story of what has happened or what could have happened or should have happened. But we're just going to go back into the R. Let's just recognize what is present here. And then the A, moving on, can you accept what is present? Again, not that you love it or want it to stay for the next 3 moments or 30 moments, but can you accept and acknowledge what is present? And again, if you're not loving this word acceptance, then maybe we can use the word acknowledge that it's here at least. It's not acknowledge that it's present. And again, your mind may wander off. So if it wanders off, we're not getting frustrated, angry, or upset. Just purposely bring your awareness back into the present moment. And just watching it in the present moment. In this body, here and now. And then moving on to the I, let's investigate where it's present or identify where it's present. So for me, it was mainly in my chest. There's a little bit of my mind going back to the past now, but at that time, it was mainly in my chest. So I'm identifying the frustration is here in my chest. And then the N, let's not judge ourselves for experiencing this. Let's not beat ourselves up for experiencing this. Let's just tune in and let it be present. You can also work with non-judgment as well as non-attachment. So this frustration isn't me. I am simply just experiencing this emotion for just this moment. So again, going back to the top, let's just all recognize what's present. Invite yourself to acknowledge that it's here and not to accept it for the next hundreds of moments, but just for this moment, working with acknowledging and accepting that it's here, identifying where it resides, and then finally not attaching to it or not judging yourself for having this experience. And then I would invite you to think of the last time where you felt loved, or you felt a sense of laughter or joy. Maybe someone said something recently at home or at work and you felt a sense of pride. But again, whatever comes forward, let's just bring that positive memory up. And then ask yourself, are you able to recognize that emotion or that state of being? Are you able to accept that it's present or that it has happened? Are you able to acknowledge that? Are you able to identify where it resides? So for me, it was my heart, and also I can feel it in my face, almost like in this form of a smile. And then the N, again, is non-attachment. Not judging yourself for having this happiness or this joy, but also working with non-attachment, realizing that that moment or that emotion is also impermanent. So the same thing, we're just going through this emotion and this system of recognizing, accepting, identifying, and non-judging. And when you're ready, very slowly and gently allowing your eyes to open as you bring back the sense that you just cultivated. Ta-da! Excellent. So there was the practice of rain. And again, rain can be used formally off my site, mindfulmike.ca, with your headphones on, earbuds in, pressing play. You can do it that way. But I find that way more helpful using it informally. So when I am frustrated or I am nervous or I am worried, I can run through the rain very quickly without anyone knowing that I'm doing it, right? I could be on a phone call, or I could be with, my children, or talking to my partner, and I could be noticing stuff coming up and just recognize what is present. I can recognize and accept that it's, here in my chest. I can identify where it is, and then I can say to myself, noticing, not judging. Right? Again, we want to be able to have these practices on demand so you can use them when you need that life raft. Again, this is why I'll say this, till I'm blue in the face. This is an emotional investment in you. Every time you use the practice, it's a deposit. Every deposit you make, your emotional bank account grows. When you need to make a withdrawal, if you've been practicing a couple moments every day for a month, those are a lot of moments that you can use when we need them. Right? So moving on to the practice of self-compassion. Before we start the practice of self-compassion, I just want to speak very briefly on why self-compassion. It's my experience working in social services and social work, especially when I worked frontline at Children's Aid and in addictions. I found that I had so much energy always going out. And I got to a point where I was just burnt out. So when I started getting into the practice of self-compassion, a light bulb went off for me, and I thought, wow, I really just need to ask myself, how am I doing? I was really, really, really nice to the clients I worked with and to my friends and family, but I found that the talk in my own mind wasn't as nice as I am even to somebody, a cashier who I don't even know. So the practice of self-compassion is really this idea of filling your cup up or putting your air mask on first before you help others. It is not this thing where maybe you're frustrated, angry, or upset, and you be compassionate to yourself, and you open your eyes and you're like, ta-da, it's all gone. That's not realistic. But what I do find is that after doing a regular practice of self-compassion, I'm just much nicer to myself. So we're going to do the formal practice of self-compassion. Let's do that now. So just allowing your eyes to close. And just noticing that your mind may wander off to the past, to the future. But again, we're just going to welcome our mind to come back to the present moment in this body, in the here and now. And again, just noticing that your mind may wander off, and we're just going to welcome it back to the present moment in the here and now. So just watching your breath. And now just bringing forward someone who you love, who's easy to love. And as you bring this person forward, feel in your heart how you love them, how you care for them. And all I want you to do is to think of a time when they were suffering, when they were mad, angry, or upset. Maybe they were physically unwell. but bringing forward in your mind a time when they were experiencing suffering. And as you think of them experiencing suffering, notice how your heart's natural reaction is to extend out and to meet them. That natural reaction of the heart is compassion. So as you imagine this person who you love, who is suffering or who was suffering, holding them in your heart and repeating this thinking of them, may you be held in this field of compassion. May you be loved and felt loved. May you be healthy and happy. May you experience the ease of well-being, and may you be at peace. So one more time, holding them in your heart. May you be held in this field of compassion. May you be healthy and happy. May you experience the ease of well-being, and may you be at peace. And now just taking this moment to acknowledge how you do care and cherish for your own well-being. So just bringing forward how you do want to experience wellness, both physically and mentally. And bring forward the last time that you felt suffering. And I would invite you here to put your hand on your chest and to hold yourself in the way that you would hold a loved one. And if you find this awkward or uncomfortable, it's completely okay and that's natural. But I would invite you to bring your hand forward and to put it on your chest and to see how that resonates or connects. And again, bringing forward the last time that you felt mad, frustrated, worried, angry, or upset. And as you bring that forward, just let yourself, for this moment, hold yourself as if you're holding someone who you love. So just bringing forward the natural way that you always extend your heart to meet someone else's heart. Imagine how your loved ones would hold you in your time of suffering. If you find that challenging, you can imagine yourself holding a younger version of yourself. Or for me, I often will think about how I would hold my children if they were experiencing sadness or frustration or anger or disappointment. So holding yourself with love and saying to yourself, may I be held in this field of compassion. May I be loved and felt loved. May I be healthy and happy. And may I experience the ease of well-being. And again, just focusing on your breath. When your mind wanders off, we're just going to welcome the mind to come back, focus on your breathing. And again, kindly say, may I be loved and felt loved. May I be healthy and happy. May I experience the ease of well-being. And may I be at peace. So perhaps just planting the seed just for this week to ask yourself, how am I doing? To make the time daily to ask yourself how you are doing and to just check in. And if need be, to hold yourself in the way that you would hold your loved ones. When you're ready, very slowly and gently, inviting you to allow your eyes to open as we bring back this wonderful sense of self-compassion. So right now, I believe that this practice of self-compassion might be the most important practice that you can do, especially if you're working frontline and you have a lot of energy going out, or you're supporting the people who are working frontline, or you have something going on at home, plus COVID, plus your children being here, plus maybe worrying about aging parents. There's nothing wrong with just saying to yourself, how am I doing right now? If the answer is, okay, I feel a little bummed out or I feel a little tired, There's nothing wrong with that. Imagine holding yourself as if you're holding your loved one. Right? That's why I always think that if I'm frustrated, and how would I hold my children? Would I tell them, oh, stop it. Stop your complaining. You know who should be frustrated? The people down the block. They have it way worse than us. Comparing your suffering to someone doesn't help. Right? Holding yourself as if you're holding someone that you love, I have found to be a tremendous shift in my emotional well-being. So again, thank you all for the work that you're doing. Thank you for watching. If you ever have a question, please remind you can message me via my site, mindfulmike.ca. I'll be happy to get back. See you next week. Bye for now.